Hello folks, I am Tim and it's terrific. I've got some books today that I'm going to talk about. It would have been an unboxing, but I'm a doofus. Somehow I made this video and it's all gone. All over but the crying. I did an unboxing video from Gauntlet Press and showed off a book that I got from there, and I showed off some other stuff. And it was the greatest video I've ever seen in your entire life if you would have seen it. It would have blown your socks off. They'd have put it on the television on primetime TV. Anyway, I did a book unboxing from Gauntlet, and now the book has been unboxed, and the dust jacket's put in Mylar Brodart cover and put on the shelf and all that stuff. But now I'm going to do a little bit of a reset. I'm going to do a book haul video, including that one, including some of the other ones that I've gotten from Mysterious Bookshop online. I ordered them online. I didn't actually go to the bookshop, as well as some books that I picked up at a local bookshop in West Central Florida, Dade City, at Lighthouse Books. Some neat stuff there. So first off, to start off, I want to talk about the book I got in the mail. It was unannounced. They didn't tell me it was coming. I didn't think it was ready yet, but all of a sudden I get a box from Gauntlet Press, and voila, there it is, SIGNALZ from F. Paul Wilson. This is a book that was already released in hardcover from, I think it was Gordian Knot, Crossroads Press, one of those. Came in a hardcover already, a trade edition hardcover. And this one, the trade edition hardcover, when it came out, I sent a message to the author, F. Paul Wilson, one of my very favorite authors. Said, hey, are there any signed copies available? He said no, but he gave me permission to send him the book, and he said he would sign it and send it back to me. And like the greedy fella I am, I said, Mr. F. Paul Wilson, do you mind if I send you a few extras? Because I got a lot of books from F. Paul Wilson I'd like to get signed, and since he doesn't come down, I haven't seen him doing the signings in a while, I haven't been able to get any signed. And he said sure, he send them on. When I sent him that, I sent him some cash and said, here you go, thanks for the effort. And he said, nope, I don't take money for signing autographs, so I'm going to send you this cash back. And I said, well, whatever, I don't know what I said. Anyway, I told him, how about this, you keep the cash, and the next few people that send you books, use that to pay for their return postage, and he was cool with that. But he signed my books, got them back to me, and I was pleased because I'm a big F. Paul Wilson fan. Also on SIGNALZ, this was, I think, Father's Day of last year. Last year, Father's Day, so it'll be 2020, I think. My wife wanted to find something cool for me that I wouldn't have, that I wouldn't find anywhere else. And somehow she sent a message to F. Paul Wilson, knowing he's one of my very favorite authors, said, hey, do you have anything I can buy that would be rare, hard to find, what have you? And he hooked my wife up to hook me up with another copy of SIGNALZ that very few people have. And what's weird about this is the cover, first of all, says The Last Christmas. It's not The Last Christmas. It is, in fact, SIGNALZ. It is I guess it would be an artist proof or some kind of a proof, ARC, I don't know. But in there, he noted all of the faults and flaws with the book. Some pretty neat stuff. And he signed it for her. And so my wife was able to give me a present for something that probably almost nobody's going to have, and it's cool with me. I'm a big fan, and a very neat present. But back to this, back to the current. I'm talking about Gauntlet Press signed limited edition of this SIGNALZ book. And some things about Gauntlet Press, I've been a fan for probably since the year 2001, I think. And the reason is Gauntlet Press started doing F. Paul Wilson's Repairman Jack series in 1999. It was the third book in the series, Conspiracies. They started doing the signed limited editions and did them all the way through up to the finish. The very last book in that series before Night World was The Dark at the End. So they did them all through there. They've done a lot of F. Paul Wilson books. They've also done books by authors that I hold near and dear to my heart before they passed. Richard Matheson, Bradbury. They did a lot of signed limited books with Gauntlet. And those are authors that probably wouldn't have any signed and limited edition books in existence, really, or not many anyway, had it not been for Gauntlet Press. And then they've done books with Joe Lansdale. I've got a couple Happen Leonard books from them. David Morrell. I've got a few of the three Rambo books signed and limited. So I'm a fan of Gauntlet. There's pros and cons of a lot of publishers, and I'm not going to list what makes somebody great and what makes them ungreat. But I love Gauntlet because of the particular books and particular authors that they've published over the years. And this book is an example of some of the neat things about them. And one of the things I like about them tends to be the dust jacket artwork. It's different than a trade edition where you're going to have something on the shelf that's meant to grab the eye, and they're going to have a giant title of the book, a giant author's name of the book to grab the eye off the shelf and get people to buy it. Their dust jackets are more along the lines of artwork. They want them to look good for the collector. The person that buys this book is not walking down an aisle saying, what do I want to read today? This person that buys this book is saying, I want this book, and I want it to be as nice or look as good as it can. So a little bit about them. There is some basic plainness to typically to a Gauntlet press book. White end papers, no artwork there. Our signature pages are usually pretty cool, but typically it's going to be the dust jacket artwork. And here we got our number and our signature, and again, it's the cover artwork there. I don't know if you want to say no frills or how you would want to describe it, but I like it. Works for me, absolutely, and God knows I've got a bunch of them, a bunch of Gauntlet Press books. So let me take off this dust jacket. I put it in Broad Art. The dust jacket didn't come that way. That's what it is, the Just-A-Fold or whatever. It's got the little perforations at the bottom, makes it easy to fold and install, and I've installed a million of them. But here's our hardcover book, just so you can see what we get when we get the book. Just what I need, not as elaborate as some of you may want, but more elaborate than some of you may want. So for me, just what I need right there in the box, and that's that. So a great book. I'm glad it's come. I've been wanting this one for a while since the trade hardcover come out. I was saying, where's the limited edition? And it did come out. Typically with F. Paul Wilson, most of the time, the first copy or the first release of the book is going to be Gauntlet's signed and limited edition when he's working with him. Usually that comes first before the trade. Not always, and in this case, the trade came a long time before the limited edition did. But I'm glad to have it, and glad to have it on the shelf, and I'll put it right here where it belongs. SIGNALZ is part of F. Paul Wilson's Adversary Cycle Secret History of the World stuff. He's gotten where he ties a lot of his stuff in, but if you're familiar with the Adversary Cycle, basically you got 6 books: The Keep, The Tomb, The Touch, Reborn, Reprisal, and Night World. The Keep is Glaken and Rasalam. The Tomb is Repairman Jack, and a lot of people know F. Paul Wilson because of Repairman Jack. Well, he wrote those first 3 books as standalone books. And then somewhere along the line, he can tell you why and all that kind of stuff, he decided to write another book and tie those 3 books together and finish it all off. And when he did that, he ended up with something that would have been too big for his taste to be a book, and he broke that book into 3 parts: Reborn, Reprisal, and Night World. And they're kind of tied together, a continuation of a story. Each one has an end, but when you put them all together, it makes the big block of the story. And Night World has all of the characters in all of them: Repairman Jack, Glaken / Glenn / Velour. It has Rossalam. It has the Alan Bulmer. It has all the characters from the others. Father Bill has all the characters, and it finishes that story. And F. Paul Wilson said, I'm not going to write anything else past Night World, that's it. But I will go back in and fill in holes and further stories within that big story. And he's done that a bunch with all the Repairman Jack books, like 15 of them that he's put in there, 16, I don't know, 20, I don't know, a bunch of Repairman Jack books he's gone back and put in there. And he's done other things to fill in holes, answer questions, stuff like that. And Signals is one of those. It occurs right before Night World. So a lot of the events that take place in Night World are beginning to take place in Signals, and that's where the story lives. And that's it's a relatively short novel, but a good one, and it answers questions. And a lot of folks from the Repairman Jack series will say, "What happened to there's a character in there that has dreams, and basically his dreams are the exact things that happens in Repairman Jack's life that really nobody knows about." P. Frank Winslow is the character's name. People say, "What happened to P. Frank Winslow?" F. Paul Wilson. And Signals can help with that for you. Spoiler-free talk, but it can help answer some of those questions that some people have been asking about Repairman Jack stuff. It also is sort of, there's another short one that F. Paul Wilson did called Wardenclyffe, and you might want to read Wardenclyffe before reading Signals. I'll just tell you that. You don't have to, but might be a good idea. Anyway, you get a chance, check it out. Check out F. Paul Wilson's one of my favorites. Check out Signals and the Gauntlet Press. Signed and limited edition is good. Good for me. I like it. A couple more things. I got other stuff in the book haul. There's a Mysterious Bookshop and Mysterious Press. They're together somehow. I don't know how the details of it. But Mysterious Bookshop by Run-Owned, I believe he owns it, Otto Penzler. Maybe I heard of him. He sends out newsletters and things like that. He has this legendary bookstore in New York City, I believe is where it's at. And Mysterious Press is a publishing house that publishes books. Small house, publishes books by a variety of authors. If you're a Sun-Tup collector and you talk about bibliomysteries, bibliomysteries are Mysterious Bookshop, Mysterious Press invention, where they get authors to write stories that are kind of revolving around books in one way or another. And Sun-Tup made bibliomysteries, which included some of the very many bibliomysteries that were published by Mysterious Press. And I've got a handful of them too by different authors that I collect. Neat things. They're usually limited to 100 for numbered, and then I don't know, 24, 20, I don't know, a few lettered and 100 numbered, and then they'll make paperback versions of them as well. But on his newsletter, he talked about this book, When Christmas Comes by Andrew Klavan. And the first time I noticed it was him saying, we sold all of our signed copies, and thankfully, luckily for you, we're getting them to sign some more. And so I said, ooh, got my attention. One of the things that I dig is I dig Christmas books that are not completely about Christmas, but they're sort of around Christmas. Christmas mysteries, Christmas horrors, other things. I like those kinds of things. Stuff that's kind of around Christmas. And Christmas may play a role in it or may be an important part of it, but it's not really about the Christmas, it's about the other thing that's going on. And this seemed like one of those. You read a synopsis, I'm not going to read the synopsis, but you read it, it really sounds cool, and I'm going to read the book. But I got this one from Mysterious Press. How I know it's Mysterious Press? MP Mysterious Press. And this one is signed by the author, Andrew Klavan. Supposedly signed by Andrew Klavan. There's some big black Sharpie marks on the title page here, and I'm assuming that was Mr. Andrew Klavan signing his name with a Sharpie or some sort of marker from Mysterious Press. But glad to have it. Glad to support the Mysterious Bookshop, Mysterious Press, Otto Penzler, and other authors like Andrew Klavan. Maybe somebody who I will love and buy more books from and stuff like that. So that came from them. Also from the Mysterious Bookshop, when I was Placing that order, I saw that they had signed copies of the graphic novel of Lawrence Block's Matthew Scudder novel called 8 Million Ways to Die. And I'm a big collector of Lawrence Block books. I love the Matthew Scudder character. He's a detective. New York City is a big part of his stories. He's a detective that was once a cop, a very good cop, but he was, I don't know, you kind of say a burnout cop. That may be too generic or vague, but he was on his way out, and a bad event happened that just finalized it for him, made him decide, I'm out, I've had enough of this. And he's now doing detective work, and he's one of the good guys in terms of, there's a lot, that's part of the story, who's good and who's bad, what makes a person good or bad. But he's one of the people that he wants to help folks that need help. He wants to, he has a set of morals and code that may be hard to understand, but it makes a lot of sense. Anyway, 8 Million Ways to Die is one of those Matthew Scudder books that the first edition hardcover is very hard to come by. Anyway, this one is a graphic novel, and I already had it, but mine was not signed by one of my very favorite authors, Lawrence Block, and I saw that they had one that was signed by Lawrence Block, as well as the person who adapted and illustrated the book, John K. Snyder III. So signed by both authors. I already had the book, but signed is better, in my opinion, in my world. And it's from IDW Publishings. And I told you that New York City is a big part of Matthew Scudder stories. And as it would happen, I just flipped to a page, and it's just New York City. A big part of the Matthew Scudder story, almost a character. Some more of the artwork from this. It's a graphic novel, so the whole thing is like a large type comic book, hardcover. So let's see, we're gonna find some other type of artwork. Looks like Madison Square Garden here. So that's IDW is they make a lot of graphic novels, and most of the graphic novels, which I don't necessarily collect, but I do have some by authors that write stuff that I like. Most of them that I have just coincidentally happen to come from IDW Publishing. So they work with people that I dig. Works for me. Now the last thing I wanted to mention real quick, I just got back from a bookstore nearby called Lighthouse Books in Dade City, Florida. If you ever get over there, check them out. Nice people. And I got a few things there. They've got, if you collect Easton Press, or you like Easton Press, or you think they look cool, they got a bunch of Easton Press stuff. And I picked up Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It's not exactly a hard book to find, and they had a couple copies, I think. But it's an important book, and I've got 7, 8, 10, 12 Easton Press books. I tend to like them. I like the leather. I like the ribbed spines. They just look like a classy kind of books. The end papers. So I got the Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. As you would probably know, written by Robert Louis Stevenson. I'm sure you've seen some movies. Maybe you've even read the story, and I think everybody's heard of it. Just flipping through, looking for some of the artwork in there. It's a neat image right there. I like that one. See if I can find anything else real quick. Another mysterious looking picture here. But some of the things about Easton Press is you have the gold gilt, free dust, gold gilt along the page edges. You have an inserted ribbon bookmark. Just some things that they do all the time that might be different than other publishers. Here's another. I'm not going to search for everything, but here's some examples of what you might see if you get one of these books here. So I picked that up. The other things I picked up are a couple of Robert B. Parker Spencer novels. I like Robert B. Parker, and I like Spencer, and I like Jesse Stone, and I've got some of his books. one thing about the Spencer novels that I found is after a while, there were a bunch of them. 30, I don't know, maybe 30 something Spencer novels. And in fact, after Robert B. Parker passed away, somebody else is writing those Spencer novels and the Jesse Stone novels, I believe. But for one of the problems that I had was after a while, the stories started to feel like I was reading the same thing over and over again. And I know I don't want to insult the guy. I love Robert Parker and I love Spencer. I love Jesse Stone. But I kind of felt like after a while, I'd read it all. And it wasn't exactly repetitious, but everything was just feeling like the same to me. But anyway, I picked up a couple of them. A Catskill Eagle, and under the Broad Art cover, it's got a little wraparound thing saying autographed by the author. So, to verify, I paid $10 for this one. Verify it's signed by, and if you've ever seen his signature, you'll recognize that. It doesn't look that beautiful, and it's hard to read, but he signed books that way. That's the way they go. 1985, Robert B. Parker. Catskill Eagle, Spencer novel. The other one I got, another Spencer novel. This one is Ceremony, and it's got a sticker stuck right to the dust jacket on the spine saying autographed copy. And let's flip and see. There it is again, the little squiggle squitch. It looks like you tied a pin to a dog's tail, a little dog's tail, and it wagged a little bit. But that's Robert B. Parker's signature there. So this one is copyright 1982. So that's my, we'll call it book hauls. Some of my very favorite authors involved. Mysterious Bookshop, an author I've never heard of before. And with a neat, to me, a neat story concept. Check that one out if you are so inclined. When Christmas Comes, check that one out. And that's it. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I can't think of any more lies to tell, so we'll just sign off with that. C'est la vie, baby.